Welcome to Radio Express World News, presented by Vibha Ramesh, Los Angeles, United States. A new policy change that bars the public display of the Confederate battle flag at all U.S. military property was announced on Friday by Defense Secretary Mark Esper. The announcement was made in regard to the recent bans by both the U.S. Marine Corps and U.S. Navy on displaying the flag. In support of this policy, he released a two-page memo listing those flags that are authorized to be displayed in U.S. military installations and that promote unity and esprit de corps. The United States has come to a point where over one-third of the states, mostly in the Sun Belt, have entered the red zone owing to the number of new cases they are recording with every passing day. This has prompted the other states to take more stringent measures to curb the spread. Some of the red zone states include California, Arkansas, Florida, Mississippi, Texas, and Georgia, to name a few. It has also been noted that some of these states are not following the recommendation that help contain the spread despite having 100 new cases per 100,000 people per week. Moving on to today's update on coronavirus impact and statistics, Florida, one of the hardest hit states, continues to keep gyms open with mandated mask wearing. Several public schools across the nation plan to commence the fall session with online coaching only, despite pressure from President Trump to conduct regular classroom instruction. Texas, too, joined the bandwagon on Friday, announcing 8 weeks of online-only coaching when schools reopen, whereas Chicago and California plan to offer a hybrid system, which is a mix of in-person and online classes. Meanwhile, all businesses in the South Beach Entertainment District will be required to observe an 8 p.m. curfew starting Saturday. The United States recorded 75,600 new cases, with 11,400 from Florida and over 1,600 from Ohio. A surge of infections expected to hit Iran has forced the country to enforce new and strict restrictions on Saturday. To this extent, about one-third of government employees will work from home, large gatherings will be prohibited, and entertainment like swimming pools, amusement parks, cafes, and zoos will remain closed, said a health ministry official. These restrictions are expected to last several weeks as local hospitals are already functioning at full capacity, and such a move is pivotal in curbing the virus. On Friday, the Prime Minister of Britain had come up with a roadmap to ease lockdown restrictions and also contain the spread of the virus in the months to come. According to him, relaxing the restrictions does not mean getting back to normalcy, at least until November. Per his plan, all schools in England will reopen as scheduled. Concert halls and theatres might open in fall. Indoor pools and gyms would open by the end of July. Moreover, indoor playgrounds and nightclubs will remain closed, and wedding receptions will stick to the 30-people limitation. The lifting of the nationwide lockdown in India has pushed the curve upwards as the country surpassed 1 million confirmed infections and 25,000 deaths on Friday. Averaging about 30,000 new cases of coronavirus per day, India is on the brink of a bigger challenge, with testing still few and far between. In the midst of the pandemic, India is gearing up for the assembly poll and by-elections coming up this year, and the Election Commission has solicited suggestions from political parties on precautionary measures to be taken while campaigning. In a final round of discussion between Indian and Chinese military commanders, Chinese troops have been politely but firmly asked to vacate intrusions in the Pangong Tso area. Subsequent to an outbreak of coronavirus cases in U.S. military bases in Okinawa, Japan's Defense Minister Taro Kono has asked the U.S. military to quarantine all of its personnel arriving at the American bases in Japan for 2 weeks, after which they will be subject to testing. Meanwhile, a new outbreak of coronavirus in the Catalonia region in Barcelona forced its residents to stay indoors and limit public gatherings to less than 10 people. This restriction was announced on Friday with a view to minimize the intensity of the latest outbreak. News from the country down under: Australia registered new cases on Friday, all of which originated from Victoria, making it another single-day record. Victoria's Health Minister Jenny Makakos commented on the grave situation, saying, "We are in the fight of our lives." Meanwhile, Philippines has opened its airports to foreigners with long-term visas. That said, they will be required to quarantine themselves for 14 days and will be monitored and tested. Before we end today's bulletin, here's news from the Mediterranean. The Israeli government announced new coronavirus restrictions on Friday owing to a leap in the number of coronavirus cases in the country, as also the criticism faced by the government in the way the pandemic is being addressed. Subsequently, gyms have been asked to close, beaches will be closed to the public on all weekends beginning July 24th, and restaurants will limit services to takeout and delivery only. The restrictions were set in motion at 5 p.m. on Friday. With that, we come to the end of this news bulletin. Thank you for joining us. Please stay tuned for the next program on Radio Express. To receive Radio Express English news and English programs in your WhatsApp, please send a WhatsApp message, English programs, to 90727 95547. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Radio Express. Thank you.